Previously on Less Social.
And now that we're ready to get designed, we're gonna spend, some money, maybe like $1,000.
The dad senior developer and his mentees are finished setting up Less Social, a social networking app for programmers. Now, we are on a quest to find a designer.
What's up, guys? I think we found a designer for the app. Just gonna have a meeting with him, and I'm about to get on a call. I used to know him because he used to work at a different company at the startup center when I worked there, and we used to actually drink a lot together a long time ago. And we'll talk to him and see if he can do a design for us. Cool. This is gonna be some kind of like community posts and stuff. Then there's gonna be some kind of explorer where people can like find other users or see other people's posts.
Do you have a wireframe for this?
Not yet. Okay, so we're gonna have some roles. Like everyone's gonna be a user, right? But there's gonna be a question asker, right? Let's say. Yeah, anybody can ask a question.
Like it's like a programming question. Like they need help, so they ask, and then whichever answer they see help them the most, they'll probably select.
Oh, I understand. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like Stack Overflow. What I really like about Reddit, right, is basically you can have a main post, you can have a comment, then you can comment to a comment, and then you can comment to a comment and things like this. But I don't want it to get that deep. I just want the first comment, reply to a comment be the extent of it. Let's be social. On Let's Social. Let's connect. That was almost the app name. But let's be social. On Let's Social. Soon. Not yet. We're still building it. What do you think, dude? The app setup is done. I think that's where we left off, but we took a little break. We found a designer, but obviously we need to kind of give him a little bit of direction. I just threw him something and he kind of threw something back, but now we have to actually try it, so we're wireframing the app a little bit. I just learned about this really cool wireframing tool, xCaliDraw. This is gonna be like the login stuff, and then there's gonna be some onboarding screen, and then maybe some post screen. You could have like two different views, a list view and a card view, and then post detail screen and the comments, something like this. We're gonna have like replies, and we're gonna have a view profile screen, search screen, and it should look pretty cool. I decided I'm gonna work on this one, and it should be fun. And it should be fun to like build your own profile and stuff like that.
Can you show the setting up, like how, like so far, what it looks like?
Yeah, but there is a little bit of a bug on one of the main wrappers I made, with like the insets, cause I realized like some of the components, if like you use a header on React Native Elements, it already sets the safe area insets for you. That's what it looks like for now. This is a little bit messed up. We got some chat stuff here. Send. Got a flat view here. It's all set up here. Looks nice. Log out. This is a nice little show toast. And login screen, sign out screen. Everything should be good here. Refresh it. There's a no network connection. Should break. Shouldn't be allowed. It shouldn't be able to be used. Maybe we just do. Maybe let's just return no network screen here. That'll be a little bit better. That way the app is completely unusable. And I'll just take this out here. There you go. That's a little bit better. And then if I turn the server back on somewhere, that app can be used again. Sign in. Cool. Signs in. Server dies. Refresh. No network connection. Cool. Yeah, and all that kind of stuff is all set up now. So I'm pretty happy about it. It was a lot of code to set up, but now we're ready for the UI. Guess we have to do some social authentication stuff. It'll be pretty quick. And we set up some Trello boards, and we have the wireframe now. We'll send that off to the designer. That'll get used. And that's where we're at. So if you want to learn how to create an app from start to finish, click on the link in the description and contact me, and let's get started. The next steps is, we have the wireframes of how we want the app to work. Now it's not completely done, but we need to send it off to a designer, get the design, but at least we know what is going to go on the screens. And we want to just add some capabilities in there that we make it easy for the end user. Like if you want to comment to a post, maybe like a hold, like a tap and hold to pop up some kind of form screen. Just some things that'll be easier to use than other apps maybe. So what is wireframing? Wireframing is just, like when you draw like stick figures, or just like, because if you just tell someone to make a design, maybe they're not going to know all the features or all the buttons that are supposed to be there, or all the bells and whistles. But at least it could be like a stick figure representation of like what you actually need on the screen to make it feel complete as a programmer. But then, the designer's job is to make it look pretty, right? So you're just making the structure. So I want to start with the, so what kind of screens that we have, right? I'm going to put this real quick. Authentication. We're going to have, home screens. So if we see here, right now we have 3 screens for authentication. If you sign up, or if you successfully log in, you probably go to the home screen, right? And maybe this is the part that I wanted to kind of talk about with you guys. Should we put the username? I think it should be super easy to sign up.
You think the username would be better than the email since you already have the social things?
Well, I feel like, okay, so maybe in my head, I feel like our unique identifier is going to be email, because, no email can have two accounts, right? Mm-hmm. And Firebase uses the email as like a unique identifier. So maybe we're going to have an issue if they sign up with Google and they try to sign up with that same email, we're going to have to block it and all that kind of stuff. So I think email is a great unique identifier because everybody only has one of that email, right?
Have you heard of xCalidraw?
No.
It's like similar but better, in my opinion.
You want to move it over there then? So ones that we're benchmarking or referencing are like LinkedIn, Reddit, Threads, and Stack Overflow. So some of those are just posting and all that kind of stuff, but definitely like the asking the questions and answering, and some kind of bounties and stuff like that. It seems fun. And also like the number 1 social networking app in the world right now is what? Instagram. So maybe take some influence from there as well.
You think you're gonna have stories? What do you think?
I think the first release, no. Maybe later. I'm not sure. We could. It's not like I implemented it before. There are some cool libraries to get it done. But if it's necessary, we could. But I just want to, the main thing that you need to get out for the MVP is log in, sign up, chat, edit profile, and they can post something and comment on it, right? Mm-hmm. So those are the things that we need to get done, and we need to get those things 100% right? Before adding on. So I don't want to think about it too much right now. That's about it. Rather than like doing the final product or whatever, because you're never gonna be at the final product. You gotta find the fastest path to release, and then you can always upgrade it, right? Because what if we start building too much and it's not even what people use? It makes no sense on building that shit out. So I always think about it like this, you can always order more food at the restaurant, but you can never unorder food. So, because the more documentation you have as a programmer, or the more documentation you have as a designer, the more in the direction you can go, and not just play off of like, you can't just go up to a programmer and be like, hey, build this app. You gotta ask like, what do you need on the app? So since we have like what needs to be on the screen, I think we can like kind of code out like the basic layouts, because I don't think like from just our wireframe, to be honest, and then from there, ask the designer, move this, and then create some kind of design system or whatever where you have a default padding, a default margin, a default button, a default this, and then we can just make sure that we're using that same component everywhere. So then we just have to code it once somewhere, and it'll take effect everywhere else. But I did fuck up with the main wrapper, so I have to fix that. And guess I have to make a couple of screen wrappers, like chat wrapper, auth wrapper, main wrapper, and it'll yeah, because I use the wrapper components kind of like these containers. So then the container always holds something like the header, the safe areas, and all this kind of stuff, so I don't have to code that out every single time. And I just pass the children, so I'd have to make a couple of those, and that's about it. So once the Figma arrives and once we start delegating the tasks, it will just have a sprint planning day, you know, planning poker, list out the tasks, see see how hard some tasks are, see how hard they're gonna be, and make sure everybody's being challenged enough, you know, because we are working on many different code bases right now, right? We have the server, we have the mobile front end, which is probably the most done. And the back end is pretty cool too, but we have to add a lot more endpoints. And then we got Jocelyn on the admin panel. Just got to keep on moving forward. Probably Song, Gabe, and I on the front end. Jocelyn on the admin panel. Booty and I on the back end. When I first started programming, I was probably like 29. I was super new to coding, you know? I didn't know the computer could be used for more than AOL Instant Messenger. But or Facebook Messenger, whatever it is, right? But you know, actually the extent of programming out was like styling my MySpace page. But I didn't even understand that. I just copy paste that shit anyways. But anyways, and then, you know, I decided I wanted to start coding. And I thought, you know, I always thought of like server backend programmers, like these computer whizzes. So I was like, you know what, I'll just do front end development. You know, I like design and I like doing that stuff. Then I started hating design. No, just kidding. But actually, like the front end that interests me the most for me was like the API calls and making sure the requests are all set up very correctly, you know, this kind of stuff, and following patterns. And then that kind of helped me with the back end. So I moved over to the back end, and you know, that's where I was kind of like working alongside more of the database and making sure, you know, you're protecting the logic of the app and all that kind of stuff. So, and authentication and all that kind of stuff, protection, security. So a lot of people think front-end development is just HTML, CSS, JavaScript, but there's so much more about creating like API layers, creating your how you're going to talk to the data models you're going to have, and even with like TypeScript in the front end, right? Like it almost seems like a lot of these back-end tasks have come to the front end, right? Even like frameworks like Next and stuff like that. Now you have like these mono repos where these front-end developers where back-end has become easier than front-end almost. Like if you look at my front-end code, it doesn't look like how front-end code used to look, I think. It looks, like React made it way crazier, and you have to handle all these hooks and global state management and all this kind of stuff. And it just, now it's just equal. Like it doesn't matter. But there's so many things that go in the front end now that you have to think about. Because, I mean, I think people think front end development is easy from like those websites from 1996, 1998, 2000. You know, it's just a static website with like a blue sidebar, a side or something, a side or whatever, and then you have, you know what I mean? Like these really simple websites. I was looking at one website. This isn't like how websites look anymore. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Front end has gotten a lot crazier, where you have animations and all this kind of stuff, right? Mm-hmm. And I don't know, like you have things like Excalidraw, where you're talking to some kind of canvas and stuff like that. I think front end development has gotten, you know, a lot more complex, as people are kind of like wanting more than just this static button, anchor tag that you're clicking on to go to a different page and stuff like that. All right, so to do until the next time we film is probably get some initial layouts done on the page, so actually, you know, there's something a little bit more impressive to look at, and get the onboarding process done, right? And like when they first log in, if it is first login, we need to tell they need to tell us about themselves, select their programming languages, or program levels, select their interests and all this kind of stuff. And then also maybe fix that main wrapper, dude, and make a couple wrappers, you know? Like this wrapper is, where is this wrapper? It's supposed to wrap my whole thing. And if I pass like these things, it's supposed to use scroll view or view. And in there set the content container style or the style. And it was like, some things are kind of just like screwing me up a little bit, but I don't know. I'll fix it. So if you want to join my mentorship where I help people navigate through their career, please click on the link in the description and let's get a conversation started. And if I can do it, you can do it too. Coding saves lives.